Been checking out most of the signs since we got here to try to get an idea of what most people are here for, and it seems to be mostly taxes and smaller government seems to be mostly the message. A lot of socialism stuff.
So a great sign that freedom is the greatest form of social justice. Liberty, I think, is what it said. That's a great sign. That seems to be the common thread. More freedom, less government. If anybody finds that to be hateful, well, I don't know what to tell you.
Please welcome Armstrong and Getty. Stop as quickly as possible. Check, check. Hello, radicals. You know, if freedom is a radical notion, I'm a radical. If thinking the United States Constitution is about the most brilliant piece of political planning and writing ever produced by mankind, that makes me a radical. I suppose you ought to open a file on me. I'll help you fill it. Because we will tell anybody willing to listen what we believe out loud. Do not ever apologize for what you believe.
So did you see that graph in the lower left-hand side of USA Today the other day about who pays federal taxes? 20 years ago, about a quarter of the people paid federal income tax. 40 years ago, only about 16% of people went without paying federal income tax, and now half the country does not pay federal income tax. Now, how did we go in the last 40 years from 16% of the population pays no federal income tax to half the country pays no federal income tax? We had Republican presidents, we had Democrat presidents, we had Republican Congresses, we had Democratic Congresses, and it just kept going the same direction, with more and more people not having any stake in the game, while the rest of us pay for everything that they vote for. Are we going to be able to make a difference with these Tea Party? I think the answer is in looking at the front page of newspapers across the country, turning on the evening news tonight, looking at the cable news channels, you'll see how much attention these Tea Parties are getting. We are being heard, we are being noticed, we just need to keep it going.
I actually heard some drive-by media guys saying yesterday, you know, the research we've done shows that these people aren't angry maniacs, they're people just like us. And I was thinking, yeah, we know. We know. We've been to them. We see it. The hate mongers missed the bus, evidently. Looks like average Americans to me. Now, I wasted a hell of a lot of time and money getting a degree in political science. But all you need to know is what you've learned as a mother, a dad, a son, an employee, an employer about human nature. And going back to what Jack was saying about we're becoming more and more a nation of a small number of responsible producers and a large number of takers. Anything you need to know about that you can observe in regular life. I want you to picture, maybe you've worked hard your whole life, you've gotten to a certain point in your company, maybe you're an entrepreneur. If somebody came up to you in the middle of the day and said, look, we're taking away all your responsibilities. You just sit around. We'll pay you and all, but all those things you go out and do, the ass kicking you do every day, we don't want you to do it anymore. Would that be a favor? Would that make you feel good? You gentlemen and ladies who rose up through the military, General comes to you and says, you know, you've been doing a heck of a job commanding these people, but don't do it anymore, just sit around. Would that be a moment of pride for you, or would you be horrified? Horrified! The idea that when you take away someone's self-reliance, that when you make them dependent on you, you've done them a favor, is an absolute obscenity to me. A child who isn't asked to do his homework won't do his homework. A father who is not asked to feed his children,
I'll feed him.
well, I would sure as hell feed them, but some fathers would not feed the children. To make people dependent is to enslave them. Fairness is a lie. Now, those among us who are mentally and physically handicapped and can't do for themselves, I am delighted to give my tax and charitable dollars to help them. Delighted. The idea that fiscal conservatives are somehow selfish is another great lie. Freedom, liberty is the greatest program of social justice ever devised. Give people liberty.
Now, I realize you can't see the whole area like we can up here on the stage, but I was looking at all the signs while Joe was talking, and I don't see any racist signs. I don't see any hateful signs. I see a lot of signs about smaller government, lower taxes, not becoming a socialist country. That's what I see. So when you hear people on cable news channels saying you're a bunch of angry, dangerous racists that the government ought to watch, remember what you actually saw here today, and it's going to take a little guts, but we got to keep at it and keep coming back and doing this time and time again until we get our message across and one of the parties starts to listen to it.
Now, Mark said it awfully persuasively, and I'm going to say the same thing. We're going to leave today all charged up. There are Congress people. There are assemblymen and women. And state senators who are just dying to get your phone calls and emails. Tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day and the next day after that, run them ragged. Don't let them rest. And never apologize for what you believe. Now, Jack and I have had the pleasure to live and work in virtually every region of the country. We keep getting run out of towns, and we'll probably get run out of this one too, eventually. Well, one of the great privileges of living all over the United States of America is you see how much binds us together, from at least some of the people in Manhattan, to some of the people in San Francisco, to the great Northwest, to the Plains, to the Midwest, to the South. And we have the pleasure of welcoming one of the sons of the South, a hell of a nice guy, a fine singer and songwriter, in a little town in Mississippi. Please give a big Tea Party welcome to Boo Reed. Boo, and thank you for supporting the Armstrong and Getty show. We thank you very much.